what is interesting is when he became, and also it's quite interesting, he got married at the age of 12, and his first wife was 5 years old, and he was 12, and he didn't even know, like, arranged by his parents, and he had like 14 children, and he was a magistrate, and he wrote so many books, and it's quite amazing. His schedule was very amazing, like very, very amazing. I think this is one of the amazing things, about Dr. Thakur. Huh? Yeah, I'm gonna just quickly, because we can try, to like compare his schedule to our schedule. How many hours we sleep, and so he was never like idle, like us. And being always engaged in service of the Lord. Between 7:30 and 8 p.m. he would go to bed very early. Then he would rise just before 10 p.m. and then he started like writing books until 4. Then from 4 he chanted his rounds till 7:30, till 7 a.m. Then at 7 a.m. he answered all his letters, and then if there wasn't any letters, he would just go on reading and reading books. But he received then from at 8:30 a.m. he received visitors, and then he would walk back and forth on the veranda of his house, contemplating different religious questions and solving them in his mind. Sometimes we have also, kind of on the rooftop we can walk and imitating, but I'm joking. He would rest briefly from 9:30 to 9:45, like Adam Paul, very quickly, like 10 minutes. And then he would take bath and breakfast, which usually consisted of half of milk, 2 chapatis and some fruit. At 9:55 a.m., Dr. Thakur would put on his uniform and leave for court in his carriage. As a magistrate, he wore a coat and pants. On his neck, he had six strands of large tulip beads. He was resolute in his court decisions and would decide the case immediately. It's quite interesting because, usually what other people, could like solve in half an hour, it took him like 5 minutes. It's very quick to make a decision, and he's very clever as well. Many people, English people, English were very envious. People wanted to, buy him or something, but he wasn't effective. And then at 1 p.m. he went home, refreshed himself, and then returned to work from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Yeah, and then every evening after his court duties, Dr. Thakur would translate some Sanskrit books into Bengali by dictating it to his secretary. Then he had lunch and every day was like very similar. So he was very fixed and very successful in his wherever he was taking off. This is a sign also. This is a sign of yogi. One of the, because we have there's 8 ashtasiddhas. There's 8 main siddhas of perfections of yoga, and 10 like additional. And one of them is that like being successful at everything. Like, so Bhakti Thakur, he was successful everything, you know, successful wife, he was successful, you know, father, he was successful devotee, you know, everything. And he you know, he showed a real example of you know, Paramahamsas, like, yeah, and before so yeah, he was like perfect, you know, with us, and I don't know if, you know, he had ever worn, like, you know, something. So then he renounced, later he renounced and became Babaji, you know, and like, you know, meditating Krishna, Radha Krishna, and passed away in 1914. But I'm just quite, I'd like to tell you one story about Bhakti Thakur, quite a famous story, but quite interesting. When he was a magistrate, like, you know, performing his duties here, there was one person, his name was Vashikishan or something, Vishikishan. He was a demon. Well, he pretended to be, you know, Mahavishnu, the Supreme Lord himself, and he was very, very, like, powerful. He was a very powerful, you know, person, and he was, like, disturbing, you know, everyone in Jagannath Puri. So he had some, you know, mystic, you know, superpowers, and he could, like, you know, manifest fire from his hands, and he could read your mind. He could, you know, kind of, you know, like, float around, like, fly around, so without any, you know, vehicles or, you know, British Airlines and Airways. Anyway, so we can fly as well. But anyway, and also he could, like, sometimes he would kind of, like, sit near the fire, and he would lean into the fire, and he wouldn't be, you know, like, hurt, burned or something. But and it's okay. I mean, things work, you know, you know, okay until he said that he was gonna have, you know, Rasalila dance, and he was inviting different you know, magicians to come to, you know, to get, you know, to go into Krishna Prema Bhakti and dance to him. So and many people, he had many, you know, disciples, and many people, you know, they believed that he was, you know, Mahavishnu himself, and so they sent him, their wives, some of them, and some wives they escaped, you know, from their husbands anyway. And but then at the end, it just, you know, it got to the point when he was, like, very, you know, like, talkative. He was, like, talkative point in the poem, and then the people, they decided to go to magistrate, find some magistrate, you know, sue him, and Bhakti Thakur, he happened to be, you know, in Puri those times, those days, and then, which is quite interesting, then he said, okay, he came to him, I'll say it's very interesting, so